What is up, YouTube? Angry Eradicate here. Today for our Friday analysis video, we got Excadrill, one of my favorite Pokemon in the OU metagame. Probably my favorite Pokemon from Gen 5 besides Hydreigon and Chandelure. Those are the only three that I really like. Maybe Ferrothorn. But anyway, Excadrill to our video today. We have 4 Excadrill sets. I could not come up with a 5th one. This doesn't have enough with them, I don't think, to really make a good viable 5th set. That's really different enough from the other ones. So Life Orb, Sand Rush is our first one. This is obviously going to be us. Most Excadrill teams are going to be on Sand teams. There's one set that really doesn't need it. You'll see that set in a little bit. But Iron Head, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Sword Stance, pretty typical. And then an Adamant Nature. Obviously Iron Head, Earthquake gives you great stab coverage. Rock Slide takes care of a lot of flying types. And then Sword Stance obviously gives you a lot of good chances. If they have like a Chansey or someone on a special wall that isn't like a bulky water, you can get a free Sword Stance up. And then in the sand, you have 275 doubled. That will take you to what? 525, right? Yeah, I'll take you 525 speed. 525 speed is going to outspeed pretty much everything. Even most Choice Scarf users as well. Let's let you run an Adamant Nature, get you to 405 attack. You'll be doing a lot of damage. After a Sword Stance, this thing is GG. That's game. Again, you want to. If you can get a good opportunity to use it early game, I would do that. Usually, they might have a counter or two to it. So I would kind of use this thing later on in game. Make sure you have sand support for it. Without the sand, this thing is just super slow and it's way too frail. So you need if your sand setter dies, you only have 3-4 turns worth of sand. You pretty much have to use this thing. So that's why Tyranitar and Hippowdon are the best teammates for this thing because you're gonna need to have Sand Rush support for it. Next set here, Choice Scarf set. This one's a Sand Force. You can also run Mold Breaker, but Sand Force, if you don't run a Sand team, you're going to run a Mold Breaker. Sand Force, this thing is super fast. You don't need a Speed Nature at that point, and you're just going to do a lot of damage. I guess you could run Speed Nature, because you'll be doing a lot of damage. What, 1.3 times multiplier on Ground Steel Rock. Iron Head, Earthquake, Rock Slide, those are the 3 moves right there, and then Shadow Claw for coverage against Psychic types. I think he gets like X-Scissor, and he gets a few other options like Brick Break. If you want to run that instead, it's whatever you guys need. That last move is really up to you. The main ones are the Rock Slide, Earthquake, Iron Head, gives you great coverage, and then like I said, you can run Speed Nature, but it's up to you guys. You are kind of at what, 270 times 1.5 puts you right around early 400s, I think. Yeah, early 400s. So that's what that is. Alright, so next we have kind of like a throwaway set. Mold Breaker, Focus Sash. This is the set my brother uses on some of his teams. Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock, Toxic, and Earthquake. Makes for a pretty decent lead. Heat Train obviously kind of hard counters it here. But other than that, this thing's usually a pretty good lead. You can usually set up Stealth Rocks. You can use it as a Rapid Spin user. Toxic's a throwaway move. You can run a different coverage move. However, Toxic's kind of nice because a lot of times stuff that'll switch in will be like stuff that you usually can't hit very hard, like Bulky Waters or like some kind of flying type. Earthquake then for just some nice coverage, and then on this set I run attack and speed. Speed Nature, you want to go as fast as possible, set up Stealth Rock, hopefully you won't get taunted, and then you can get your Rapid Spins off before you die. Focus Sash kind of helps keep you alive because you're super frail. I use the 4 EVs here in HP, it doesn't really matter, you can run it in defense or special defense. Last set here is a Steelium Z Sand Rush set. Ability, you can use any of them really, it depends on what your team's going to be sand or not, if you want to do more damage with. If you run Sand Force, this thing will do a lot of damage. However, the speed is pretty important because we do run an Attack Nature again here. Sword Stance, Iron Head, Rock Slide, Earthquake. Obviously, Iron Head's the move that it activates for Steelium Z. You usually want to get a Sword Stance off before that. You want to predict a switch, or if you've been doing that all game and they want to stay in, you can just go right for the Z move with Steelium Z, and it'll usually take out a lot of things. This thing's again, it's a little bit weaker than the other sets because it has Steelium Z. That's the trade-off. Those things usually good at getting a good kill early on against one of their bulkier Pokemon, or even killing one of their faster Pokemon if they switch in, thinking, hey, he's probably gonna switch out as well. Alright guys, we'll go over some teammate options and then we'll go over how to beat Excadrill. Alright, so for the teammate options, obviously you need some kind of stand setter. Your 2 choices are Tyranitar and Hippowdon. You usually don't want to run both, that's kind of a little excessive. You do want, I think Hippowdon works better on the defensive side of ones, and Tyranitar's for more of the offensive ones. I really wish Mega T-Tar was out, that would make this thing really good. I think sand teams become very viable if Mega T-Tar came out. You could probably run both then. Other options, Charizard Y actually makes a pretty good option, especially on the Rapid Spin support one. Because obviously it Rapid Spins for Charizard Y, and it takes care of a lot of things that Excadrill kind of loses against, and Excadrill takes care of things like Heatran, which Charizard Y usually struggles against. Other options, again, Voltorb and Core, people work really well with this. Tapu Koko works especially well with sending up, it takes care of a lot of flying types, which Excadrill obviously usually struggles against, stuff like Skarmory, Celesteela. Those are the 2 things that really kind of counter it. We'll go over that a bit more in the how to counter Excadrill set. hard part. But Landorus makes a decent thing. A Magnezone, I used to think that'd be pretty good with him. The fact that it can trap a lot of steel types, flying ones like Skarmory and Celesteela. However, the kind of coverage with that, and T-Tar in particular, you have 3 things that are weak to 3 things weak to fire, 2 things weak to water, 2 things weak to a lot of those common attacking types. 2 things, all of them weak to ground, unless you're running Air Balloon Excadrill, which is also another option on this. However, it's not that viable anymore. Air Balloon was more of a thing in Gen 6 and Gen 5. Then Gen 7 has kind of been, not on Excadrill, at least on Heatran, obviously. Air Balloon's still super relevant, but not really so much on Excadrill. Other than that, teammate options, again, on the Rapid Spin support set, things that are usually weak to it, like Volcarona and Charizard Y, like I said, those make a very good team. The Focus Sash set, with those Rapid Spins, more of an offensive-based team. It's an offensive Rapid Spinner. You can get rid of Toxic and go for like Rock Slide or something like that if you want to go super offensive. The other ones are more, again, for Sand-type teams. That's all I really have for teammates. Like I said, you're going to need some kind of Sand Setter, and then whatever kind of supports the things that he loses against, Celesteela, Skarmory, and other things we'll go over now. So alright guys, we'll go over some of his weaknesses. Alright, so 3 different kind of categories of what kind of beats him. Bulky Grass, Bulky Water, and Priority. Priority is pretty obvious. Stuff like Azumarill, Aqua Jet's going to take it down. Unless it's Sash, it's going to kill. Stuff like, if it's not running a Choice Scarf or Sand Rush in the sand, Talonflame can beat it with Flare Blitz. Other faster stuff that's not running, again, like a Choice Scarf set. However, there's a lot of like Priority that won't just take him out outright. Mock Punches from like Infernape and stuff will do a lot of damage. Some of the more bulky waters will obviously wall him out, as well as the flying. Celesteela, Skarmory, you need support for those 2. There's not much Excadrill can really do against those. Bulky waters such as Slowbro, unless they're running Shadow Claw, even that probably won't do. Like, it won't probably 2-hit KO, and Scalding Return's going to do a lot. Stuff like Swampert's going to do a lot to you. Again, Azumarill's pretty good counter to you as well. And then in Bulky Grass, you have Tangrowth. Tangrowth's decent against it. Unless it's running the Z move, it's not going to be able to do enough to Tangrowth, and Tangrowth can either use Giga Drain Knockoff, a Power Whip, something to kind of take down Excadrill. I think it's like a fighting type move as well that I can use against Excadrill. Other things, there's not really that many prevalent fighting type users anymore in the metagame. Any kind of like fighting types, like Machamp's obviously not going to be used in OU. Conkeldurr, I'm not even sure where I don't think he's even OU anymore, he might be UU. Conkeldurr obviously will assisting out pretty well, and has Mach Punch and Dream Punch for it. So those are the things that kind of beats Excadrill down. Obviously, if you can take out their Sand support, then Excadrill becomes super crippled, and then a lot more things you're able to beat it. With Sand support up, though, Excadrill is really scary. You have to be really careful with that. Kind of wall it out. Go for a lot of protects on a defensive team. Just waste its turn in the sands. You gotta be careful for Sword Stance, obviously, but I think only like 1 set runs that. It's not as common. The Choice Scarf set is definitely the most common, I think. Actually, I think the Life Orb with Sword Stance is common, so you gotta be careful with Sword Stances. But if you can catch him going for a Sword Stance and get a hit off, that's also awesome as well. Alright guys, if you have any suggestions for this Pokemon here, any new sets, anything that kind of counters it that I didn't go over, or any new move ideas, let me know. If not, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you next video.